Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the Gauntlet, part of the Sideline Sports Network. We got a great show for you tonight. Darnell Duchette talking a little bit crazy about Patrick Mahomes, among other things. And we're going to talk about all the normal stuff we do in the moment that the fans have been waiting for. Dom versus JJ to kick the show off. And then we also have John Shear from Sideline Sports joining us tonight, which you guys know John from the Sports Moron clip when we were at the draft. That was one of the most fun episodes that I personally remember. So John, it's good to see you here too.
See you too.
How is everybody feeling tonight? And are we ready for what's going to happen?
So I texted John this morning because I had this weird ass dream last night that he was holding me at gunpoint. And
you shouldn't have talked shit about the Dolphins.
That's true.
So I was laying on the couch. And
overrated.
First of all, he had a shotgun. He had a shotgun, which, both him and a shotgun are the same height. So how the hell he was holding his gun? And then I look at him and he's got it to my knee and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's laughing his ass off like he's doing right now. Like, yeah, you think that's funny.
That sounds like me.
It was just so random, man. Like,
I mean, I'm like in your head. I'm in your dreams. Like, I live rent free, I guess, in your head, Denzel. I guess you're preparing for when the Texans play the Dolphins in January and we beat you, and I live inside your head.
I see. I got this. Be awake all night tonight. Well, you mentioned that, and then the Astros are currently playing the Orioles, so keep that same energy because we did shut you out last night. So,
it's football season, so it's kind of football season.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yep. And JJ Jenkins makes his appearance for the Gauntlet.
So guys, can I really just start off and say that I have absolutely no care what Dom has to say tonight about this subject. Like, it doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, he gets his butt whooped every time he comes to the Baltimore Ravens stadium. And that man that's right next to him, that Miami Dolphin.
So we're still talking about the regular season, huh?
He gets the same.
Hold on.
Last time the Dolphins played the Ravens.
That's
right. We went to your house and beat you. That's right.
You lost the last time last year, but what are you talking about?
No. We beat you the last 2 times we played you.
You played us last year and we rocked you.
No.
Yes. Are you kidding me? We rocked you. Then we played San Francisco right after. Like, what? Why am I even wasting my time with this?
James, shake him box.
Okay, look. It's
this is not a debate to me. Honestly, I don't even have any. I don't care if they have criticism because at the end of the day, they're in the same boat, if not worse. At the end of the day,
you've got those 2 regular season MVPs, though.
Guys,
Dom,
let's bring it in. Let's bring it in for 1 second.
No, I'm not.
Bring it in for 1 second. Okay. This debate was requested by the fans, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the show started now. JJ and Dom, I'm interested to see what you guys have to say to each other about this subject. Dom, you doubled down that you think Lamar is overrated, you think the team is overrated, headed towards decline. Just explain why you think that, and then we'll take it from there.
I wouldn't say necessarily that the Ravens are. I mean, you ultimately in the playoffs, typically, unless you're the 2000 Ravens, you only go as far as your quarterback takes you. That being said, I don't know that they're necessarily on the decline. I think they maybe have kind of plateaued. I don't see them as a serious threat. I mean, JJ wants to talk about the regular season. We don't care about the regular season. If we cared about the regular season, we would be lauding Lamar Jackson for his 2 MVP awards, or Cam Newton for his 1, or Russell Westbrook. What do all those guys have in common? Naked thing. Even I got 2 rings. They have none. Here's the real sad fact. We're not even really talking about my team because, as JJ said, I will concede a point. The Ravens, as well as most or all mobile quarterbacks, they own us. We're 0-2 against Sam Darnold, for Christ's sake. However, Jared Goff had as many playoff wins last year as Lamar Jackson does in his whole career. I don't really have too much more to say. JJ, your rebuttal, if you have one.
First and foremost, Dom, I don't care what he has to say. He's pretty much just does it to everybody, and he's in the same boat, if not worse. No one was talking about regular season. At the end of the day, he advanced to the AFC Championship game, which was further than yours, I believe. No, you got there.
We got
there. But you just got one season, so I think you get too cocky off of one season. You could go back. You haven't shown consistency of even at least getting there. So you can talk about somebody not getting anywhere, but neither have you. So at the end of the day, if anyone's overrated, you haven't been here as long as we have. And since my quarterback's been here, you had to trade to get to where you are. We developed to get to where we were. And at the end of the day, I know I have a better chance of getting there than you do, and by most people's accounts. Because at the end of the day, the Super Bowl champion defensive player on the best MVP said the Ravens were the toughest team that he had to beat to get there. So I think we have to think about what that means. He didn't say Detroit, and you beat them. You beat them. And at the end of the day, they beat us, and they said, hey, we were the better team. We were the best team in the NFL. So you're talking about plateau. That makes no sense. There's no way a team that has a guy that's only 26, 27 years old, despite all your irrational thoughts about him, is better than your quarterback and better than anything that you have ever produced in the last 6, 7, 8 years. I think it stands to believe at the end of the day he can win a Super Bowl because he's not like he's 40 years old. You had your quarterback had to leave your squad to win a Super Bowl, and he was in his 30s. So don't talk to me about sitting here saying somebody's plateaued, because at the end of the day, he is still young. Is this defense not smack up on people? No. They already know the only thing is there's only one team in the NFL that I am concerned about. One. I don't care about any other team in the NFL because I know if my team plays them, they can beat them. Because we've done it. Playoffs and everything. We face teams in the playoffs. We can only play who we play. You can't change the history. Your history's worse than his. You're talking about one season where you got combined. You just got there. We have more chances to get there. You never had the chances to get there as much as we do. So I promise you right now, if we ever faced in the playoffs again, I would take my money to beat y'all 10 times over. There's only one team that's always the thorn in my side. And it's been this way for my entire life with the Ravens. At the end of the day, when we get past this one team, it'll be able to get done. And he's got advanced every single year. You can't tell somebody that he can't play. So to be honest with you, I mean, we've had this debate so much. And at the end of the day, I am 6 years in. I don't care what any of you guys have to say about him. I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, you don't know nothing about the future. So why are you trying to keep pushing it to me? That's the definition of insanity. It's not going to work. It's going to be the same responses every single time. So like, why do I have to keep having this conversation? Because it's over and done with. Y'all sound like ridiculous with this now.
We can agree to disagree, as we have for several years now.
Why are we even bringing it up? Because there was no...
For the fans. For the fans.
For what fans? You the only one that talk about it. So obviously, when you talk about somebody, I promise you the Ravens get so many shots all the time. And I literally sit there and say, for a bunch of people, y'all say it's not good. Y'all sure spend so much time trying to talk about us.
Hey, I'll be 100%
We mind
honest.
our business every goddamn day. And then here we turn around and y'all my name's in your mouth. That's because y'all know we're really good. And you
I don't want to see y'all in the Super Bowl.
And you just hoping that we keep not getting a chance to win something. Because dang, if we win, I already know what's going to happen. Because what's going to happen is, if we have a chance to win...
Oh, congratulations if
y'all
win.
Dom, you ranted last week and I wasn't on the show. Another thing, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. So at the end of the day, it's like, that proves my point right there. I'm not thinking about you, but if you're on my mind, I'm not thinking about you.
I love to hate Lamar Jackson. I can't help it.
You should focus on what's in front of you. I'm focused on what's in front of me, because the Raven way is we don't give a crap what y'all do. Y'all been telling us since existence you need to have an elite quarterback. We've won without an elite quarterback, and we have a good quarterback and an elite quarterback. So logically thinking, you would think that eventually somebody's going to get through. So
I don't want to see y'all in the Super Bowl. I
Don't
really
talk
don't.
about what you don't want to see, but if you don't want to see, don't talk about us at period. You talk about it.
I don't think you can get there for us to have to
This is
see
the
you.
difference between us two, and this is the biggest reason why I'm so confident in my team. We don't talk about it. We say we meet you at the door. Y'all do all the talking. We're right here. If you want to go, let's go. And to be honest with you, you can say what you want. And Philly, I know if you can admit or not, but they get the same toughness from us because they saw what it takes to become a great team. And you get smacked up from them, and you get smacked up from us. So you talking. Stay with us there.
Don't bring me into this. I'm not
bringing you into this. I'm not bringing you into this. I'm more so saying teams have adapted to a new way of building their teams, and Jalen Hurts came into age in a similar way that Lamar did. Literally, you guys did better with your offense. We invest in our defense. That's because our principles are different. We're always.
Hey, listen, I gave Jalen Hurts his props when he went out in the first round. The first year he was in the playoffs, I said he'd be better for it, and they go further the next year. Just like if y'all win, I will congratulate you and your quarterback.
So Cowboy X Factor, I think you bring up a great point, and this is what I do like talking about. The Ravens have had to beat Peyton Manning at a 13-3 and Tom Brady at a 12-4 to win a Super Bowl. There's nobody. We know what's in the AFC. We want that because at the end of the day, if we're going to get to where we want to get to, we have to beat the best of the best. So bring on Aaron Rodgers. Bring on Patrick Mahomes. Bring on Justin Herbert. Bring on Joe Burrow. And I will
don't put Justin Herbert in that mix. He doesn't want to fucking
When Joe Burrow
game.
has beat the Ravens in the playoffs, who was playing? Nobody was playing, right? When the Ravens are fully healthy and Burrow's team is fully healthy, what happened? So tell me, when we get a chance to see them win the playoffs, we'll see who's better. I respect the heck out that team, but that's what we want. We want to get to where we want to get to.
All right, guys, we got to call it right here. This is definitely an interesting debate. I want everyone to put in the comments who you guys think won. But thank you guys for the segment. Thank you guys for the entertainment. Really enjoyed the debate. It was great. So let's bring everybody back in, and Tyler is joining us as well. Everybody say hello.
Hey, Tyler's feeling better.
Feeling better?
Yeah, a little bit.
What was wrong?
Oh, my stomach.
He's a Packers fan.
Man,
a Packers fan.
That's what was
At
wrong.
least they got a quarterback.
Please
Oh,
be
yeah.
right, but
I think our quarterback earned his money more than Jordan Love.
Left-handed Dak? Yeah, he sure did.
All right, before
He
we
was
start,
number one in
percentage
every
is
stat
unmatched.
last year, so
before we start another debate segment, I think that we should take a short break just to recollect ourselves. And when we get back, time for Sports Morons and dumbest takes in sports.
we 6 Live, baby. Let's go.
Whose mic is fucked up?
I don't know, but if we can figure it out, that would be great. So, Sports Morons of the Week time is part of the show where we discuss the worst takes, the dumbest takes, and the dumbest moments in sports.
It's like he's like, "Guys, the world is about to end."
where is that guy at? Is he, do you guys even know him still? Whoever
Is he
did
here?
that clown stuff?
But the thing is, my boy Dom was just sitting there like, "Okay, okay."
All right, so obviously we know how this all works. We go around. If anybody has a take or something that they want to bring up that was Sports Morons, feel free to share it, get it off your chest, and then we'll go from there. Anybody want to start?
Go ahead, JJ.
So as you guys know, more so I'm a sports call out. I'm not going to say it's wrong because I think I do understand the sentiment where people are coming from, but I don't think people are looking at this in a different way. If you've had criticisms for the guy DeRubeis just said about the U.S. As flag football, I don't think you're really looking at what his shoes though, because I asked this to one of my friends because we were having a debate. I said, picture you're a great at your job. You've spent the last 4 or 5 years telling yourself that you're going to get to this point, Then you go and hear somebody tell you you don't deserve it because Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the game. He needs to get it. And that's your dream. And they're doing it just to be able to fulfill. They can go back to NFL. You're not going to sit there and think that, yo, I worked hard for this. I don't get a chance to get that. So I think when people sit there and criticize him, I'm looking like, why? I can understand exactly what he's talking about, and I agree with him. I don't think you should get that job position just because you sit there and think that you play in the NFL. Because at the end of the day, people don't realize the Olympics is not about entertainment and getting ratings. These countries have people trained their whole entire lives to get to a point to have glory and representation. So I'm just sitting there saying, like, for them, they're looking at it like, we want to represent. We know y'all represent us every time you have the NFL. We want to represent the country. And at the end of the day, flag football is different from the club. At the end of the day, so at the end of the day, it's like no contact. There's so much going on. So I just say, like, if you're going to keep getting on him, I'm like, can y'all just kind of think about it if you were coming from his shoes and it happened to be you in that same situation? Because I think if you were in that situation, you'd be like, dang, y'all looking at me like that just because I'm saying something about how I feel about my own job? I don't know.
Anybody want to respond to JJ or give another sports moron?
Can you guys hear me? Is my mic like?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you good? I think it went away.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I don't have nothing to say. To be completely honest, JJ, and this is just me. The flag football thing doesn't really fascinate me with the Olympics anyway. You know, just me personally, like winning a gold medal in recess to me, you know, personally, but.
I respect that. That's a respectable thing. All I'm asking for people is to respect somebody because this is his job. If it was your job, just give him respect. You ain't gotta say he's tripping, he's trash just because he decided. Of course, how dare you sit there and say, first of all, it's never going to happen because it's happening in the summer. They're getting ready for the NFL. But at the end of the day, I don't even think someone like Patrick Mahomes, who values his teammates, would even agree with anyone bashing him about this because he would be like, I understand what it takes to get to that level. Absolutely, I'm not going to take it from him when I know how hard he worked to get there. But nobody thinks about that because they just think about the fact that it's their name. But Tyler, you're right. It's just...
You know, and everyone, like, and I'm sure there's a lot of athletes that want to compete, but I think that people look at it and there's probably plenty of NFL players, and it doesn't even have to do with the fact that the teams might not let them compete, let alone that just don't want to do it, right? Football is a long season. You get your off season. You want to take your time off. I'm not so sure that all these athletes are just lining up to be part of it.
Yeah, I don't... Like you said, I don't think an Olympic medal in flag football means a whole lot more than, you know, a Pro Bowl.
Hold on.
I mean, I'm sure there's some great athletes that want to compete in it, you know? I get it. But I've seen so many people are like, why? What if they put him on the team? What if they put him on the team? What if they put him on the team? And I'm like, are we so sure that all these guys are lining up to want to do it? Because I haven't even heard that, you know? So that's the all
Maybe we can put LeBron on the team since everyone's so sure he'd be an all-pro tight end.
Dom, I swear, Dom brings up LeBron so much.
He finds a way to do it.
Yeah. This guy is mentally ill.
Hey, I'm just trying to make the stands happy.
Tyler,
They swear he's an all-pro tight end. Let's see it.
Because Tyler, to be honest with you guys, where I'm really coming from is that when you're refining yourself and you're finding your faith, you kind of see what you kind of have to look at when it comes to other people. And it's just like, I don't mind people saying, you know what, I don't agree with you. It's just a different way of saying it. You don't have to be rude because somebody's just speaking on something. And he actually said it delivered it very well. He didn't say anything that was malicious. He didn't say anything. He was just saying, like, I do think it's disrespectful because, you know, you can't just come in and just feel like you're entitled to something because we love the replacements. You just said that to Shane Falco, like, we don't care about you.
I mean, Martell, he's the best, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Does anybody have a different sports moron other than that?
Chicago Bears fans.
For what?
With their convenient. Okay, so they just congratulations, Chicago Bears fans. You've just completed an undefeated preseason, which means somewhere between dick and all. But it's so funny. They're convenient amnesia because for all those clowns that like to remind us about our undefeated preseason 16 years ago that we went on and went winless in the regular season. Now they go out there and beat and win 4 games against backups and third stringers and grocery baggers, and they think they did something. You haven't done shit. Worry about getting out of the basement, then worry about finishing over 500, and then maybe you can talk about a wild card.
Oh, the Bears played the Hall of Fame game, right? Okay, I gotcha.
I have to say, though, I've not been the biggest fan of Caleb, but he's looked very good in the preseason.
So
he had the lowest quarterback rating in stats out of any of their quarterbacks.
So was Bo Nix.
He didn't even throw a touchdown.
We don't know what the I don't know what to take of preseason.
Preseason doesn't mean dick anymore. I put more stock in the joint practices.
But so did Jaden. Jaden looked pretty good at times. Bo Nix has looked pretty good at times, and
Bo Nix looked great.
The only thing that annoys me about the preseason is when a rookie quarterback or whoever makes an off-script throw. You're like, oh my God, it's another Mahomes, dude. Let that quarterback develop his own shit. I can't stress this enough. You can't compare every goddamn thing to Pat Mahomes. That's no hate to Pat Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in the game. But shit, let that kid develop his own game.
Right.
Every time he sneezes, Pat Mahomes. Every time he shits his drawers, Pat Mahomes. Every goddamn thing he does is Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. Let's see him take a couple regular season snaps first.
Jay's on the after hours of the Gauntlet tonight.
It looks like it.
Good job.
Anyway, John, you've been pretty quiet. Do you have a sports moron?
He's muted.
John, I think
you're muted.
That's what he gets for saying two is better than Jordan.
We're having so many technical difficulties tonight.
Tua is not even better than Dak yet.
Hey, John, you're muted. Unplug and plug it back in.
Leave and come back. Do something.
It was just fine like 5 minutes ago.
Okay, yeah, I guess I will say something. So, I don't know if anybody saw it, but in the Phillies-Braves game the other night, Arcia actually did the stare down on Bryce Harper. So, first I have Braves fans in my mentions saying how, because I made the point that what this guy is basically going to be known for when his career is over is how he was poking the bear with Bryce. And then we all know what happened in the playoffs last year. But he started it. And by doing this, he's kind of acting like he's a victim, but he started the whole thing. So I just think it's kind of stupid. And then as far as the World Series point, he didn't really play. He had like 2 at-bats in the whole series. So he didn't really contribute to that ring. It's essentially like Carson Wentz saying he's a champion because he won with the Eagles. He didn't do anything. He didn't play. So I just think it was kind of moronic.
It's like when Rod Allen talks about his time with the team with the 84 Tigers and he had 11 at-bats.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we can go on our next topic if no one has anything else.
I will say, and I love Don for this, but I love that he had the sports moron because he was saying Bears fans were talking too much. So what did you just do? Like that was so anything. Like I just love it. I love it.
Hey, we won the division. We won a couple playoff games. It's not going to be as easy this year. Please believe. I don't know that we win more than one playoff game.
That's your response to the Bears, right?
Right.
We've been to a couple playoffs. We won a couple divisions. We've been to a AFC Championship game. Little things. See what I'm saying? See how it flips?
No, I'm the first to admit it will not be that easy this year. Shit, it wasn't easy last year.
You have to worry about the one that's right below you. Because truth be told, I think that
we
team
talked
is the
about
one
it.
that's going to win that
That
division.
division's coming down to one game.
I definitely think that division going to the Green Bay Packers. But I do believe in Jordan Love. I do believe, and I believe in his connection to Christian Watson, especially when he plays y'all.
I believe in our offensive line. And
All right,
Jared
is
Goff not
everybody
turning
good?
the ball over.
Is everybody good on Sports Moron before we go?
Tyler knows that they were supposed to face on the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, and I would have took. I felt good with Green Bay if they would have got through San Francisco. I mean, I got based off of the last game. I knew how the last game the Packers played the Lions in Detroit on Thanksgiving. So
I love that we're all like playoff
Somebody not named San Francisco will be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl this year.
I want to see Jay's team because I want to see how good they actually are because I think they're going to be really good. I want to see them again. I want to see what they're about.
Yeah.
We're all playoff teams here. We're all playoff teams.
yeah,
Everyone on the panel, yeah.
I will disagree with Dom a little bit on that, though. I still, like, I understand that there's some chemistry issues going on with the 49ers. I still think the 49ers are pretty damn good, though.
They're good.
They're
Real
good.
good.
They're
It is very tough to get back to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, especially
And-
when you lose.
but it's
They're
not
worse.
possible. It's really hard to no one's three-peated, right? And
No one's ever three-peated, yeah.
And no one's just writing. No one's like the Chiefs for sure won't win it this year. Like everyone thinks they have a chance to three-peat and break history. So,
Yeah. John, you were going to say something, man?
No, I was going to say, remember the worst stretch for the Niners last year was when Trent Williams was out. And who's holding out on that team? He's arguably their most important player on offense.
I would agree.
Without Trent Williams, that team does not work. Brock Purdy, that pumpkin will burst.
no,
If
and I
Trent
agree.
Williams doesn't play, Brock Purdy will turn into a below-average quarterback real quick. And
And
he's
I
holding
agree.
out, so remember that.
I agree with that. Trent Williams is the best player on the San Francisco 49ers.
They need him. They can't
agree.
do it without him.
Definitely not. That's your blind side.
Yeah, because that was that 3-game losing skid they had last year after starting out 5-0.
Yep.
And it was the Browns that handed them their first L. So,
And
yeah.
Bacon, I see you in the comments, and that's a good point too. When Debo went out, they lost a lot of games too. When Debo's healthy and in the mix, and Trent Williams is there, that's a scary team, man. It's a scary team to go with.
McCaffrey never got hurt. I lost a bet because of it. I will not wish injury upon a man, but I will bet for it to happen.
yeah.
John, did
Can
you
I
have
give
a
a sports moron?
Yeah.
A sports
Absolutely.
moron. I was going to say Jerry Jones. I know he's always a sports moron, but for
3 in a
for
row.
alienating, CD Lamb like he is their best weapon on offense, you can't succeed without CD Lamb because you have nothing else on that offense to succeed with. Like, you have nothing else. He is your entire offense. And that team cannot go without CD Lamb. They've got
No.
nothing else at receiver.
No faith in the bald-headed ass tires of Ezekiel Elliott.
That team might.
Ezekiel Elliott isn't carrying you to 12
Hold on.
wins.
I
Like,
This is a
They're not winning 9 this year.
This is what I've said for out of 30 weeks in a row. And as you can see in the picture, Emperor Palpatine with the Dallas hat on, once again, stands in the way of this thing. And they're going to see it. They're going to see it this season. It happens every year. That train is never late.
I feel like for the people that follow the show, the Gauntlet,
Someone get
the
Jerry
award
Jones
show,
to be like, so
the award show that we have at the end of the season. I feel like right now, if you had to say, Jerry Jones is probably the top candidate to be the sports moron of the year. If especially if the Cowboys have a bad season.
He's on
and
pace.
CD,
It's like Caitlin Clark winning Rookie of the Year right now. Jerry Jones is really.
He's the front runner.
He's
By
the
far.
betting favorite.
Running away with it.
Yeah.
Puts
in
that
the
on
same
FanDuel.
fashion as her.
And the
Running away
regular
with it in
season
W.
hasn't
Running away
even
with it.
started.
so do you guys have a sports moron of the year at the end of the year or something?
Yeah, so we have the awards. It's kind of like the NFL honors, and we have like different categories, and one of the categories is sports moron of the year. We pick the dumbest.
Yeah, it's either the single most egregious offender or the continued
Like, I
repeat
think
offender.
previous winners were Ben Simmons, Urban Meyer, to name a couple of them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So we'll do all the candidates, and then we'll go on Twitter
Lamar Jackson.
and have people on Twitter kind of vote, and then we'll come back to the zone.
So we could invite John. We could break out the teal carpet for John, and John could jump Gauntlets too. So
what does John think about the admission of Tua's relationship with Brian Flores and Brian Flores' redemption response about it?
Brian Flores is a clown. You should never treat a player like that. You should never tell a player they're not good enough. They'll never make it. They'll never live up to their hype, live up to their potential. You should never talk to a player like that. Crap on your own player just because you wanted Justin Herbert over Tua, and you went out of your way to sabotage him. Who sabotages their own franchise quarterback? He went out of his way. That's why he kept benching him his rookie year, to sabotage him.
That's bad.
Yeah, John,
You're a terrible person.
He touched on it on the
Sabotage your own guy.
I don't know if you saw my comment, but I was like, the sentiment I got from it was, it sounds like he never wanted Tua in the first place. Still no excuse on how to treat a player, but that's probably the bit of the backstory right there. He never wanted him in the first place.
And have you guys seen the meme going around about McDaniel too? So like McDaniel's looking pretty scruffy now.
Yeah, about how he went from Best Buy assistant manager to Coach Kingpin.
Right. He's Coach Kingpin in Miami.
We saw him. We saw him puffing a little bit in that playoff game 2 years ago on the Buffalo's that sideline in Buffalo.
I will say this, and I've said it before, but I haven't said it to John. I love me a Mike McDaniel press conference. It is.
Oh, it's the best.
It's so good. So that's
the Jedi mind tricks are the best that he does.
And dude, I'm in Florida, so I hear all about the Dolphins and the Bucs all the time. Jacksonville's like 6 hours away from me, but I hear about
the
Well, where I'm at in Southwest Florida, it's like going to Tampa and going to Miami are the same distance. So if you go to the stores here, if you go to the grocery stores, the retail stores, any of those things,
it's like half and half.
Yeah, it's half and half of everything. It's a mix.
So like Tampa and Miami would be like Target, then Jacksonville would be like going to Walmart.
Yeah, but they don't even sell Jacksonville stuff here because that's way up north. It's way up north.
It's not even Florida up there. It's southern Alabama.
But I've been to
London.
I've been to that stadium, and I know Alex Fleming used to. May he rest in peace. I know he used to cover it. I hate that stadium.
It's trash.
It's junk, to be completely honest.
They need a new stadium? Man.
Oh, it's bad.
I hate how they have a. I hate how they have a.
In general, is bad. Jacksonville. I mean,
it's as bad as their quarterback.
You know how many people probably peed in that pool?
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh,
I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of any of those like stadium pools. I'm cool on that.
I'm not. I don't go to a football game. You're like, I still like to go swimming while I'm there.
Oh yeah, and drink
bring my suit.
Yeah, that's terrible. But I think that does it. I think that does it for Moron. I'm actually gonna give it to Jay for the next topic. Jay, introduce the next topic, which is gonna be on the screen here.
All right, so we actually touched on it a little bit already, but far be it, whenever these guys win a Super Bowl and they call them world champions, well, this will be the first time that NFL players will actually play at the world level. But should NFL players, and we brought this up on Sideline Sports last week, John was there, should they sacrifice their preseason prep to go play at the 2028 Summer Games? Now, on one end of the spectrum, I'll go fast. I'll go real quick. On one end of the spectrum, not every player is going to win a Super Bowl. So a gold medal may be a consolation prize. Depending upon who it is and how they feel about it, fine. On the other end of the spectrum, I'm not a fan of sacrificing preseason prep to go and play at the Summer Games like that. Me personally, I would prefer, and this is just me, if the UFL players played. They're just coming off of a season, so they're still fresh. Then on top of that, shoot, what was I gonna say? If there's an injury, they have a year to heal up. And the third point, UFL players should be more than enough to beat the rest of the world anyway. People on this panel can beat everybody around the world. Come on. It's football. That's what we do. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I don't know. That South Sudan team, they're looking pretty mean. I don't think they have a football field because they sure as fuck don't have an indoor basketball court.
Yeah, they have no AC, no nothing. That'd probably be the only competition.
I'm not even sure they have food.
Just my sentiments, but it actually would be better if the UFL players played. And again, on the injury thing, it's a year before the next season anyway. So if they get an injury, provided it's not very serious, they got a lot of time to heal.
If you get hurt in flag football, man, like just hang it up. It's flag football.
Yeah,
like,
look what happened to Robert Edwards though. Ruined his career playing flag football on the beach.
Hey, just saying, non-contact injuries.
I think there are semi-professional flag football teams and flag football teams. I just throw number one. I don't think nobody should be allowed to just be given anything. I think if you are going to get it, you are going to, earn it at that point. It's a new event. It's like at the end of the day, there are levels to this. At the end of the day, they are, because my brother plays in the semi-pro, and so I think we think it's easy, but I don't think it's as easy as we think. And I think we have to remember there are some players in other countries out here that are athletically like us, and the game is evolving. People are seeing the game. That, I think, we speak to our confidence in ourselves, but I don't think any one of us, just a random joke, could just beat the world. I'm not saying that's how everyone feels, but I just think it's a little bit more clear because who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, prior to the Olympics starting, when everyone saw the roster, everyone said 25 points every single game, no problem, even for the girls. There were some times that they struggled. There were some times they had some issues. So, to piggyback onto the main topic, no, I don't think NFL players should be allowed to play this at all. You have your sport. You have your thing. You've been focused on other things. I don't think you should be allowed to play this at all.
So,
the NBA.
Exactly. So the NBA players have their sport, but they play for the national team.
Yeah,
but there's a difference between
representing sport. One isn't.
But they've been doing that for a while, and it's in their off season.
But to JJ's
club and country.
But to JJ's point, I'm going to make a point for JJ. They also in the Olympics played a 3-on-3 basketball game in the Olympics. How many NBA players did you see playing in that 3-on-3 competition in the Olympics?
Oh yeah, that was full of Uber drivers and bartenders.
This isn't my topic, I don't know if Billy's gonna go for a gold in tetherball or Cammie's gonna go for a gold in the 4-square competition. This isn't my topic, but I'm just saying to JJ's point, there was a 3-on-3 basketball games that were played in the Olympics, and there was no pro basketball players playing.
Well, that's because they probably didn't want to, because they thought it was stupid.
Point about the NBA and Transition Olympics, for the most part, the rules are pretty much the same, and there's the same type of dynamic. It's 5-on-5. You have guys trying to get the baskets. There'll be rules about, the shot clock, what's a foul, what's not a foul, what's allowed, what's not. That's one thing. When you are going from no contact to contact, from flag football, and this class itself from people who have been in flag football, it is different from the regular football. It's not as easy as they want to sit there and think because they're used to a certain way of life. And then they also have to remember the rules are different. You don't kick field goals out there. If you don't get the touchdown, you have to pass the ball back. Kick returns are all different. So it's not necessarily the same as regular football. It's different. And two, Tyler, to back up him, they don't go to the NFL in their off season, or they don't go into other leagues in their off season. When you talk about trying to go into Olympics and stuff, you want the entitlement of it, and you want the glory of what comes with it, because you feel like you're entitled to anything because you're the best in your league, and you've been told that your entire life. But I just don't think that's the way that you should think. I think every NFL player should be like, Some of them really care about money, so maybe they'll sit there and see like a financial incentive to do it. But I think a lot of them are gonna be like, "I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl."
Or my point before, or I want to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
You're not spending time with your family during preseason.
Or we know, and we're in a topic. We know we're all grown. There's some players that just want to out there and have fun, and that type of fun we talk about, a la Mr. Miami Dolphin Tyreek Hill. So I'm sitting there saying, like, there's other things that they want to do other than playing flag
Well, some
football.
no-name shouldn't run his mouth. Some no-name that we just heard about 5 minutes ago over the summer shouldn't run his mouth about Tyreek Hill. Nobody in the world ever heard of Noah Lyles before 5 minutes ago.
My fun with him was more about him enjoying the ladies. That was my more fun with him. Because he has fun in his summer.
Preseason, no one wants to spend time with their... But these teams, people have to practice and train, regardless. So it's not like these NFL players aren't going to just be able to jump on a team, have no practice, and immediately just get thrown into it even if they wanted to. So there is a time of sacrifice that you're going to have to do.
I watched that guy, the quarterback for the USA flag football team, throw a ball, and it doesn't look like he's very good. Did you watch his motion? Have you watched that? Looks like a 12-year-old girl
for the ankles and did this number.
Yeah, it looks like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Watch that, and you guys are claiming that's the best we got? Like, can we have like some of these scrubs that are not even in the NFL playing? Like,
and also
play quarterback?
the guy,
is that the worst motion I've ever seen.
The guy,
little girls throw better than that. Calvin Kaepernick, as Jay calls him. Calvin Kaepernick, the great guy
got
who
in
ran
front of the
Colin
camera.
Kaepernick.
He got in front of the camera and told everyone that he thinks he's better than Patrick Mahomes because he has a high IQ of the game.
Really?
So this is the guy that's the head of your sport, the face of your sport that you want representing you. But
no, he's saying
stuff being a clown and trying to get attention. But this is who you want me to take seriously. Second,
no, you're talking about DeRubeis. You said
anything when you're trying to compete and win, you should always want to put your best athletes on that field in that competition. Whether it's the Olympics, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's whatever. So I don't think it's about entitlement. I think that it's more this guy feels threatened by the NFL players. So that's why he's going out of his way to say, oh, don't come into our sport because you didn't help grow the game and all this. He feels a little bit insecure is what it looks like.
Nobody wants to take your spot on the flag football team, bro.
Hold on, are you talking about Darrell Doucette?
I think Darrell is
Calvin Kaepernick.
I think he's a little bit insecure. That's what it is.
But I thought that quote was fake.
Some of this is so crazy. So if
you talking about a quote that he said about,
like I'm the Wayne Gretzky of air hockey? Like, come on, man.
But my thing is, James, I don't think that
be
quote
the Wayne
was
Gretzky,
real.
but I am the Mario
real.
No, it's real. It's real. There's a video of it.
Yeah.
He said that he had a high IQ over.
He said that he feels he is better than Patrick Mahomes because of his IQ of the game. And Patrick Mahomes responded to him on Twitter about it. He put an emoji.
He said what?
Patrick Mahomes put an emoji. He responded to the video on Twitter. So it went viral.
Video.
Jeez. So much traction about.
Congratulations, Hulk, too. You got your 5 minutes of fame.
Now everybody forgot about you because of this dude.
Oh, you well played. I ain't know that.
We're gonna start scouting Jimmy for his potato sack race.
What about the breakdancing not being part of the Olympics?
I was just about to say.
Man, after that
That's
Australian girl, don't ever bring that shit back, bro.
They already said it's not coming back.
Funny to see that. I think it's interesting to see all the other ones that we don't even. You'd be like, oh, because you think about games that you played as a kid that you thought you'd be good. You'd be like, oh, I played badminton. Maybe I could have been in the Olympics.
I know it. When's tetherball getting in? Like, come on, dude.
I love the ping
Olympic badminton is crazy though. It's like table tennis.
We need Olympic table tennis. That stuff's crazy.
So
It's
someone
fun.
did the Olympics. They were going through like the only games the U.S. has never medaled in, and badminton is one of the ones that the USA has never medaled in.
That shit's hard, man. If you ever swung and missed at that, it's so embarrassing.
Come on, LeBron, represent.
Who, me?
They managed. I said, "Nah, come on, LeBron, represent." Dude, they managed to take every sport from ESPN to Ocho and put it in the Olympics.
I'm surprised
much.
Tom didn't say something else about LeBron.
Too much for me. I'm not being glass half full about all this. I think there's too many of these weird ads to the Olympics every year. Like the breakdancing thing, I knew was gonna flop. To be completely honest.
Just put beer pong as an event.
They're trying to add something
They have a
to make
lineup
people
of people
watch.
waiting to try.
Because a lot of people don't even watch the Olympics for anything.
Dude,
I didn't watch more than maybe 15 minutes the whole time.
But I know you get a gold medal, but I gotta be honest, some of it matters. If Simone Biles goes and gets a gold, we watched her, right? She's incredible. What she's done has been amazing. But she goes and wins a gold medal in gymnastics. That's one thing. I don't care who is winning a gold medal in free tag or
Yeah,
whatever.
but she's a little bit of a clown, isn't she? Isn't she a clown? For showing up on the Bears sideline for her husband in a Packers jacket?
Yeah, well, I mean, she
Isn't
was
that a little bit of clownery?
she was with us last year, so she's just doing what
Yeah,
she.
but her husband's on the Bears.
Yeah, but he's
I don't
terrible.
think it's that.
No,
serious.
nobody's showing up on this. I don't care what
Not a
team your
good
boyfriend plays for. Nobody's showing up on the sideline in a fucking Bears jacket. Period.
But yeah, but
Good for us. last
yeah, but
year.
it's
Most
terrible.
players only do
You're
because
following the husband,
they get the swag for free.
And Ciara's wearing her wife's jersey now for the Steelers. So it that's what they do. They follow their husband. Well, she's following her wife, but whatever. I'm just kidding. But
Okay, that was really funny.
yeah,
But I guess
Steelers have two quarterbacks, so they have none.
that's gonna put a pin in this.
Did you
For
get one?
non-sports topics, I have something more serious, and I guess kind of controversial. When it comes to separation of church and state, specifically having religion in your school, the thing that kind of sparked this conversation for me was the high school that I graduated from. The mascot is the Spartans. It's the mascot. They changed the T to like a cross, which I'm all for faith. I'm all for going to church and doing all that if you're comfortable with it. But I don't think it's the right thing to do to force that on any kids or any agenda of any kind. I don't think it's right. I think that kids need to be free to be themselves, and I think they need to be supported by the teacher and the staff at the school. So I feel like when you go out of your way to push an agenda, you're kind of denying the rest of the culture. You're denying all the other kids that may practice something else, that may be comfortable with something else, which there's kids that are in Islam, Buddhism, all kinds of different religions and things that should be acceptable to believe in and practice. But when you go out of your way to do something like this, I just really don't agree with it. And I think that the schools have more responsibility to make sure all these kids feel comfortable and feel accepted and empowered while they're going to school.
yeah, religion, and they can hit on it in the comments. It should not be forced on anyone. Whenever you do stuff like that, the first word that comes to mind is indoctrination. And that's what they're basically trying to do. They're trying to indoctrinate people, and not even for the greater good. It's to fit their agenda. It's one thing to tell somebody something to have good intention. It's another thing to get them to follow your agenda, because here's the deal. You could tell them, okay, you're going to be this religion, but then the next thing is you're going to get them to do this and get them to do that and do that. And that's how people become mindless zombies at the end of the day. Just kind of mindless. This is how cults are formed. Jim Jones People's Temple. Anybody heard of that? That's how stuff like that is formed. I don't know if anyone knows, but a quick history lesson. That was the end of it. The mass self-deletion. I can't really say MS, whatever. That was the single greatest loss of human life before 9/11. That is the power that a cult can have. When you do stuff like this, you indoctrinate folks, you generate. It's one thing to say generate a cult following, but then there's also the real thing, which people have been suckered in and duped into, and having them follow something that ain't even the truth. They will have died for nothing. You know, you putting people's lives at stake here. There's people that's thinking that their own lives is on the line. They'll go out there and they'll do stupid stuff. They'll go in there and risk their lives for it. And there's some stuff I can't say because, you know, this ain't a political show. But y'all get the idea of what I'm talking about here.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
whenever you get somebody to follow, like, you take a gullible enough person, they'll follow anything you do. Anything you tell them to do.
Yeah.
They'll follow anything. You
Why
tell
do
them
you think
walking
there's so
off
many
a cliff,
Cowboys fans?
anything from walking off a cliff to drinking the Kool-Aid, literally what Jim Jones people did, you get them to do that. You know, it's a very dangerous sentiment. But that's my thoughts on it. I think it sets a very dangerous
I
tone.
want to ask. I really want to ask this question to John and Dom and Tyler because all of you guys have kids. So this happened like in one of your kids' schools. How would you feel?
There's definitely no room for that shit in a public school. If you want your kids to go to a school where religion is tied into that, then send them to a Catholic school or a Jesuit school or whatever. It's funny 'cause, this shit started to spring up like back when I was in high school, which was 1,000 years ago. There was a teacher that around Christmas time they put up Christmas decorations every year. And they put one up that said, Jesus is the reason for the season. And within a week, they made him take it down and then put it back up altered with Jesus covered up. And it said, do you know? And I think that's kind of an extreme example. But if you think about it, like, white people across this country, it's not like we're in a great minority anymore. You know, the amount of people in your average public school that are Christians, they're probably there in almost equal numbers to Muslims and such, and people would be all sorts of up in arms, like not on the longest day in history would any sort of Muslim faith get slid into anything in a public school. So you can't do it with anything that's Christianity based either. It's good for all or it's good for none. And it's good for none because religion has no place in the public school system.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what he's saying because there are so many different religions and you're gonna alienate somebody. If you allow 3 or if you allow 1 or whatever, you're gonna alienate somebody because there are so many different religions. And then there's more than just your standard religions. There are people with that believe in the spaghetti monsters or whatever the hell out there. There's people with all different types of religion. So you really can't alienate, you really can't alienate. So obviously you got to separate them because you're just going to cause hatred. You're going to cause all of that stuff. And that's how wars start whenever you do stuff like that. You start alienating people or religion or whatever. You start alienating something. That's how things like that start. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to cause animosity. It's just the smartest thing to do. Keep them separated, and then you don't got to worry about that. I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I mean, even going back to the indoctrination and to your point, John, not only can it alienate, but it can also cause people to work for the wrong reason.
Yeah, exactly.
If my institution is like, say, Methodist or something, right? Okay, and you come to my institution and you're Muslim, okay? Now, you're Islamic, but I'm sitting here convincing you all year long how bad and terrible Islam is. They're full of terrorists. They're about bloodshed and all this other kind of stuff. It could get you to leave that religion alone for the wrong reasons and come over to us. Almost like a recruiting tactic at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
what's the situation, Tyler? Like, what's the situation? I missed it.
So I'm gonna answer real quick James' question because James asked me. So I agree with all of you guys. For one, I'm going to send this to Jay's old professor at Abilene Christian, Professor T.D. Jakes. So I'll be sending him this. I don't have my WWJD What Would James Do bracelet on during this either. But regardless, we were outside of religion. I'm raising my daughter Everly, that people are different, right? You don't want to alienate anyone for all kinds of different reasons. You don't know who's special needs. You don't know people's sexual orientation. You don't know people's ethnicity. You don't know so many different factors. So religion, it doesn't change that, right?
It's in the same boat, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the way that she's being raised. That's the way that me and my wife Cassie like to handle things. If someone has an issue with it, well, that's not really their choice.
And I'm the same way, Tyler. Where I've told my daughter who just started kindergarten, I told her, you're going to see kids that are a lot different looking than you. You're going to see kids sound different. And I told her, you're going to look and sound different to them. I said, so if you see a kid might act a little different, or they look a little bit different than you might act and look different than them. And I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't treat them any different. I said, be kind to them, love them. I said, you don't got to be friends with everybody, but don't ever treat somebody different because of the way they look or act or sound or whatever it may be. That's what I instilled in my daughter, and I will instill in my son as well, is you don't treat somebody different just because they're a little different than you, because you're just as different you're just as different to them as they are to you. That's what I've taught my kids. So, it's just in the eye of the beholder, and there's nothing wrong with being different than somebody. I made sure I told my kids, you're not going to treat somebody different. So that's kind of how I raise my kids, is treat everybody the same no matter what they look, sound like, or whatever.
Yep.
Can I just ask, what's the situation that brought this topic up? Like, what happened? I know you guys are talking about that.
So, the reason I brought this up was because the high school that I graduated from, the mascot is the Spartans. And in the gym, they have, how in the gym they have like those pads that are like against the wall? So, it says Spartans, and it's like spelled out on the pads that are in the gym. One of the pads they replaced the T, which was just a normal T, and then they put like a cross, and that's why this debate kind of sparks. Because I felt like even
what do you mean play like a cross? What do you mean? I'm
so like a cross, like
a cross, like Jesus.
Cross. They
Went out of their way.
They replaced the T, and they put like one of those in replacement of the T. So they have gone in that direction, and that's what they're doing.
These Atlanta broads are ugly.
And I just I didn't really agree with it or think it was fair to the students that come from different cultural backgrounds.
This is a topic I wanted to talk about, but unfortunately, I think my computer's messing up because I can't really hear to really understand, like, are you saying that the religion was forced upon somebody, and that's...
In a way.
Okay, so... So, honestly, I am a man that is very religious. I am a man that reads the word every day. I am the man that believes that in God and that God has helped me with everything in my life. But the thing that I realized is just listening to everybody now is that I'm understanding what the word is telling me, and I can understand why the responses are given, because even things that I have learned in the word that I've learned was not being taught. And so that lets me know that goes reinforcing that somebody's always said to me is that we're human, we're destined to fail, we're destined to fall, because in the word they say when Eve ate from the tree of life, she gained knowledge and realized she was naked. After her, they realized they were naked and they put clothes on. But the word explains that they were told to do that, and when that happened, humans are destined to have a flaw, because I'm gonna be honest, and I will say this way: I don't agree with anything that was said in this segment at all. But I'm not someone that is judging anybody because I love you guys, and it's not my place. I understand, and who am I to sit here and tell you you're wrong? I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong. All I can do is sit there and say, if there ever is a moment that you are curious and like, okay, let's find out. When you want to, you want to, because I think what I've learned is, for example, in religion, and this is something, pastors are flawed, ministers are flawed, the Pope are flawed, humans are flawed. So we are destined to have these feelings because we, at the beginning, didn't trust into the Lord to say, the Lord told us not to eat the tree of life, and then we would be able to live in all eternal peace. When that happened, we are destined to feel this way. And the one thing it taught me is that when Jesus came into the world, he didn't judge anybody for stop believing in God. But the problem is, over time, some people have manipulated that and used it to their own gain. When I learned the word, it's saying Jesus would not judge anybody for anything that they said about the word. Because at the end of the day, humans were destined to have their own ambition to feel what we have, that we aren't perfect. We're bound to feel this way. The right thing for me to do is always be like, I get it. I understand why you feel this way. I may not agree with it, but I understand because everyone has their own path. The only thing I can do is hope that the path that you choose is the path that is the one that brings the peace and the connection to the Lord, in my opinion. But it's your life. It's how you feel. So while I would say that I do think I want to teach religion to my child, but I do want to teach it in a way that I will explain that, in our world, it has been used in ways that it shouldn't. Because I'm amazed.
Used for evil, yeah.
Like, here's
used for selfish gains.
One thing I've learned is, like, I'm amazed at things I'm seeing now from when I'm reading the word, and it's like even things that I thought and people that I thought that were actually giving me the best advice. They were giving me advice that wasn't with equal context because it's not been cascaded throughout the years in the way it's supposed to. And it's like, if you read the Bible, there are so many situations where bad things have happened. Like, to be honest with you, and I had this conversation with my dad today because we were having a conversation. He was like, what are you going to do? What happens with this? I said, to be honest with you, Dad, I know bad things are going to happen in my life coming up because that's what the word tells me to. But the thing is, I'm not mad at it because I know that I've understood and I accept it for the reason that it's helping me live my life. Because you have to feel and think what's best for you. I know it's like a monologue and everything, but what I'm saying is like, while I may not agree with that, I do think church and state should be together, but I do understand that it's hard because it's never been taught the way it was supposed to at some point in time. Because if I know I can look at it and be like, I never knew that. Now I understand why people have an issue with religion because that was never how it was explained. But equally, now I understand why the grandmother never gives up on the crack that nephew. Why the homeless man is always being fed by the person you look at him like, what's going on? Now I understand why that is because I'm the way. I will talk to a homeless person and have a conversation with them. I don't judge anybody. And I don't judge anybody for how they feel, but I do agree that I think church and state should be together. But I think it's just really interesting because it's revelating something that I'm learning in my own journey, honestly.
Yeah, and JJ, and a lot of it, I think, is we have our own preconceived notion of what love is supposed to be, how we're supposed to love people in life, but we kind of we make it our own way of loving people, but what it says in the Bible is how you're supposed to love people. You're not supposed to be selfish. You're not supposed to have your own agenda hidden behind something. You're supposed to genuinely love people and care about them. And a lot of times we don't because we're trying to get something out of it, and that's not love. No matter whether you follow the Bible or not, like, you're supposed to love people genuinely, unconditionally, like you mentioned. And a lot of times in our world, there's selfishness behind the way people love people, and that's not love. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, That's how I see it.
And it's the same with like Christianity, for example, right? You go to you go to a Nazarene church, you go to a Lutheran church, as opposed to going to a Southern Baptist Christian church, you're going to see that things are handled a lot different at all those different churches as well. That's why you're going to find what's comfortable for yourself, right? Like if you're a believer, you're going to be like, well, this is a little bit more aligns with what my beliefs are. I feel like I can get the message more. I feel like I'm around people. And it goes back to, like, I know this is off the religion thing, but what James's topic is, for me, like when I look at it, he's not them making that decision. They're not looking out for everyone else. They're looking out for what they believe, and that's why they think
that's why I have a problem with it.
That cross should be on the Spartans logo. Like they're not thinking the bigger picture. And
I don't actually have a problem with religion or anything itself. I have a problem with the forcing of it.
And I don't have a problem with religion. And I agree with John. Like when we were talking about our daughters and the way we're raising them to, you see someone with special needs, you see someone with a different ethnicity, you see someone with a different sexual orientation, you see someone, all these different things, and you treat them all the same. That's how you do, and that's the same way I'm looking at it. Like if you're the coach of that Spartans team, I'm looking at it as I'm not going to put my beliefs in what I think, and these kids need to do what I think. I'm trying to look at the bigger picture. I'm looking out for it.
Just hate everyone. That's your safest bet.
I already do. I hate everybody.
I really do not like people.
I don't like you.
Every day that I get older, I'm just like, I gotta go.
James touched on something. James touched on a good point about the fact that I don't have an issue with the cross being, I don't have an issue with religion being integrated. I understand that it needs to be integrated in a different way. For me, like I talk to people, like my mom and I have different viewpoints on things. I've been berated about certain things, and then she'll come and apologize to me about it, and I'll say, Mom, I love you. That's okay. The word tells me that I don't have to. I'm not mad that you feel this way. I love you. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to care about you. And so for me, I look at it as an example of that's a way of me showing my mom what the word has done for me, and it's something that she may be interested in because she talked about it. Maybe it can give you the same thing. So in a way, I'm bringing religion to somebody that maybe has a different viewpoint, but it's not in a way where I'm forcing on them. I'm more so just letting them know, like, hey, I'm not mad at you. The Bible has taught me how to not be upset at anything. I know that as I'm getting in my journey, I know there are friendships that I'm going to lose. I know there are people that I know are going to start looking at me and questioning whether I'm doing things. But at the end of the day, I still care and rock with you because at the end of the day, I have trusted, and Tyler said this right here about you have to make it to something that is best and good for you. I told my mom one day, I believe the Christian word, the way it's helped me and the things that I've been through in my last couple times in my last couple months in my life, I believe it's the way. So when I do that, I'm committed to saying that I'm going to live based off what this word is telling me. So that's what's helping me be able to not be mad at anybody for too long, to be able to forgive, because that's how I'm learning that it was told to me. And Christianity, one of the things they say is God never puts more than you can bear. That's a saying we've heard pretty often, right, throughout our life. God never puts more than you can bear, right? I learned today as in August 23rd, that the actual scripture is God never puts more than we can bear without his help. And so to me, as I've learned
work of fiction,
when I understand the word, because that isn't there, I recognize that there's a difference. The word talks about your life is going to be flawed. You're going to have bad things happen to you, but you are going to be okay if you believe and trust him. That's what it says. I'm not saying that everybody has to believe that. I'm saying that's what it says. But
if you really
I know when I see that difference in the scripture, that's
a good story. A little long for my taste.
The right way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those little differences that you learn lets me know, like, Now it makes sense why people have taken religion and put out little pieces that are really big and impactful. It makes sense. I'm never going to judge anybody. But, at the end of the day, I do understand, because I would even sit there and be like, I know what we believe is right, but we have to remember, when Jesus died for us, he forgave Judas for betraying him. That should let you know that you have to meet people where they are. If you want them to see something, you have to let them know that they're human. You have to know they understand. And then if they feel like they want to learn, then you help them. You don't force it onto them. And I'm talking to the person that is religious. You see what I'm saying? You have to. It's not been taught, unfortunately, the way it needed to be. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay. After this, I'm gonna tell y'all about my life, because I love you. I love y'all, my brothers. But we're not gonna have the same opinion, because
you're a Ravens fan, so of course we're not gonna have the same opinion. You're a Ravens fan. We're not gonna have the same opinion. You're like, oh, do we have the same opinion? You have a quarterback that doesn't even know how to throw a football. Like, come on.
All right, well, that's a good note.
He's your team when he plays y'all. I don't understand. Somehow he can just rock y'all.
I mean, he knows how to run the ball. It
John,
doesn't make
He has his best passing game.
About Jordan
He
Love
has his best. Tyler,
on my post comment, and I agree with
Jordan Love's played 8 games in his career.
Hold on.
Congratulations.
Hold on. Lamar's best passing game come against the Dolphins.
How do we get back on Lamar? You said you didn't care.
Yeah, JJ, what happened to I don't care?
I don't care what
you guys know with John. I love
say.
it with John, because I know John loves it too. John does it to me all the time. You already know. I've said this on previous shows.
John's an
John,
agitator.
I always go back and forth with John. Because
I'm the same as you, Tom.
100%. That's why I love you.
Okay, guys. Well,
what's your opinion on LeBron James, JJ?
I know, right? LeBron James uses the wrong toothpaste in the morning. Like, my God.
Nah, he doesn't brush his teeth.
I wish we could. This summer I have been acclimating to baseball, and that's something I have liked to talk about. And it's like
it reminds me of Skip Bayless. Because there was one time that Skip Bayless took a picture of his alarm clock at 2-something in the morning, and he put on Instagram, "Hey LeBron, I just finished my 3rd workout. Where are you at?" It's just bad, man.
Dude, I'm a Jordan fan, but still, it's just so crazy to me. Dom brings up LeBron
every opportunity that I can. All of his fans do. Why can't his detractors?
He's gonna be long retired.
A Stan will bring up LeBron in any conversation. Doesn't have to be about basketball. Doesn't have to be about sports.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to end the show on that note, but it was definitely an entertaining episode. I want to say thanks to John Shearer, who worked with us at Silent Sports, who's part of the team, for being on. We'll see you guys next Friday, same time, and we'll have some more stuff for you.
Yeah, I got to go. I have pots to stir.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Don't forget the broomstick. Pause.